I'm Hyundai the Dietitian, and welcome to Healthy Made Simple, where I show you how to make healthy eating simple. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful bean salad that is high in protein and fiber and makes for a great side dish as well as a main dish once you add a little bit of grains in. You'll see mine has some orzo added in to make this a complete dish, but you can easily skip out on the grains and make this a side bean salad as well with your meal. This is a really simple one to make that's really affordable. It only took me about $7 to put all these ingredients together. All you need is a couple cans of beans, some cucumber, tomato, herbs of your choice if you want to add it in, and I did a really simple vinaigrette with just some lemon juice, olive oil, salt, and pepper. So if you're interested in something like this, you want to catch on that bean salad trend that seems to be going around nowadays, but you want to make it nice and simple and not have to buy a bunch of new ingredients for it, stay tuned for my bean salad recipe that I think you're going to enjoy because it's delicious and nutritious. Alrighty, let's go. All right, let's start by first putting in our beans and then our veggies. Now for this, I've already washed and drained all of my beans, and whenever you're washing beans, you want to make sure you wash until all of the bubbles are gone. Now for this, I first have a can of kidney beans, so I'm going to add that in first. Next, I've got a can of black beans that I'm adding in. There we go. And then the next ingredient is going to be a can of garbanzo beans or chickpeas. So that's all of my beans. We have 3 different types of beans, and you can switch the beans around too if you want to. And then I have half of an English cucumber that's already been cut up. So I'm going to put that in. And then I have about a cup of grape tomatoes that I have quartered up. They were quite big when I have them, so I quartered them instead. So that they'll be nice bite-sized pieces along with the beans and the cucumbers that are in there. And then lastly, I have a little bit of parsley. And you can do other herbs as well. I think you could do basil, dill, cilantro if you wanted to. This is some Italian parsley that I've put in. And I'm not doing too much because we're not a huge fan of it, but I do want that flavor in there. All right, so once I have everything in, we're first going to give this a mix before we add in the dressing. All right, I got my wooden spatula here, so I'm just going to give this a toss real quick, and then we'll mix it again once we add the dressing in, but I just want to make sure they start incorporating together first to start out. All right, this is looking pretty good, so I'll put this aside, and then we'll work on the dressing next. All right, for my dressing, I have a half cup of lemon juice that I'm going to put into a mason jar, and I'm going to use my mason jar to mix this around. And I have a half a cup of olive oil going in as well. So I do a 1-to-1 ratio of olive oil to lemon juice for this. And then if you wanted to make this a little bit more flavorful or change the flavor profile, you can also add in things like red wine vinegar, apple cider vinegar, maybe a touch of honey or some Dijon mustard to create a different flavor, but this is just a really basic vinaigrette that I'm going with. And then next I'm going to do just salt and pepper, and that'll be it. That'll be all the ingredients that are going in here, and I'll be generous with the salt to make sure this is nice and flavorful because we do have a lot of beans going in there. We have 3 cans of beans that are going in, so I'm going to do multiple rounds of my grinder here for the salt. And you can always adjust for the salt later as well too if you feel like you need to. And then I'm going to do black pepper next. And that's going in as well too. And you can make your vinaigrette ahead of time like this, and you don't have to use the whole thing, which is the beauty of using a mason jar for doing this, so you can store the rest for later if you feel like it doesn't need this much vinaigrette. I am planning on adding some grains to my salad, and I do want that to soak up some of the vinaigrette as well. So I'm going to be doing a little bit more vinaigrette than maybe I typically would if I wasn't doing the grains. All right, make sure you tighten that nice and tight, and then all you're going to do is just give it a shake. to mix it around. And if you do make it in advance, make sure you shake it before you pour it in because it will separate over time. There we go. We have our vinaigrette ready to go. All right, I'm going to pour the vinaigrette in. There we go. And we're going to give this a nice, good mix. All right, this has nicely mixed together, and I'll show you what it looks like real quick. Just a nicely seasoned bite of bean salad. And you can leave it just like this. It would still be really delicious. Yeah, that's good just like this. So if you wanted to do this on the side as a side dish, keep it like this. Or you can even incorporate this into like a rice bowl with some other protein. But to make it a little bit more filling, I'm going to add in some grains. I have some cooked orzo in my fridge, so I'm going to add that in to make this a little bit bulkier. All right, I have my container of cooked orzo here, and this was 1 cup of orzo that I had cooked, and I used some of it already for another dish that was pretty similar where I just mixed it around with some tomatoes and cucumbers for my son. So this is a little less than a cup of cooked orzo, and I had just stored it with a little bit of olive oil that I had put on top and just some salt. So not much really going on with this orzo, but I figured this would be a good addition to the salad. I just need to break it up a little bit to mix it around, and it'll absorb that vinaigrette that's in there to make this a filling bean salad. As I mentioned, you could leave it just as is without adding the grains, or you could do some other grains as well too. Some of the other ones that I think would go great in this would be quinoa. You could even do rice. You could do any of the other grains like barley, farro. If you ever see those and are not sure how to try it out, something like this works great with it. So that you have a little bit more bulkiness, and this could be really a complete meal of its own because it's already pretty high in protein from all the beans that we're adding in there. We got lots of fiber in here, so if you're trying to do like a plant protein based meal, a meatless Monday kind of thing, something like this could be a really nice meal for that. So I'm just giving this a really good mix around, and you can probably see that my orzo has broken up quite a bit now that it's been mixed around with the vinaigrette in there and the sauce. So this is going to be ready to go soon. And anytime you have something with a vinaigrette like this, the longer you keep it in the fridge, the more it's going to absorb those flavors and the better it will taste. So this is a great meal for prepping ahead of time to have an option to use throughout the week. And this should be good in your fridge for, I'd say, about 4 to 5 days. And just like that, our bean salad is ready to go. Look at that. Beautiful. It's nice and filling with 3 different types of beans, some veggies in there from the cucumber and the tomatoes, and some parsley, and a delicious vinaigrette to go along with it to make a nice filling meal. And this made a huge batch, so I'll be able to use this throughout the week. And it was super easy to make and cheap too. So if you're looking for something budget friendly, this is great. Cans of beans are not that expensive. They're right around $1 each. And then a little bit of cucumber and tomato is not going to break the bank. You can even skip those if you wanted to make this even more budget friendly. But I do think they add a nice freshness to the whole dish. Thank you so much for watching Healthy Made Simple. If you have not already done so, please make sure to hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more videos like this where I show you how to make healthy eating easy and simple at home. Thanks again for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.